Thanks for joining us for 12 News at 6. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Kadiba Devine. New tonight, will Arizona lawmakers repeal the state's 160-year-old ban on abortion? 1 week after the state Supreme Court ruled that the ban was the law, the legislature will meet on Wednesday for a vote that could affect the lives of countless Arizonans.
12 News journalist Bram Resnick joins us to explain what to expect and what not to expect at the Capitol tomorrow. Bram?
Yeah, Mark, let's start with a spoiler alert. Here's what you shouldn't expect tomorrow at the Capitol: a final vote to repeal the ban. Here's why. The day will start at 10 a.m. in the House of Representatives, scene of a raucous floor session last week. Democrats have introduced a bill that would repeal the abortion ban. That bill will be brought up again tomorrow. Here's the first hurdle. A majority of the House, at least 31 members, have to agree to start debate on the bill. That means all 29 Democrats and at least 2 of the majority Republicans have to sign on. For Republicans, that means crossing their leader, House Speaker Ben Toma, who opposes the repeal. Opposing your leader is a big deal in the legislature. Based on my reporting, there aren't a solid 31 votes yet in the House to clear that first hurdle. Swing District Republican Matt Gress took heat last week for supporting a repeal, then backing down. He couldn't be reached for comment today. Any Republican who supports a repeal would face the wrath of Kathy Herod, the architect of anti-abortion bills at the Capitol for more than 2 decades.
Those who call themselves pro-life need to stay pro-life. I think that you shouldn't change your pro-life position because of your perception of where the political winds are.
Chris Love, spokeswoman for the Arizona Abortion Access Initiative to Protect Reproductive Rights, says her organization supports a repeal.
We would hope that they would repeal the 1864 ban, hopefully with immediate effect. I'm not sure that they have the votes to do that, but quite frankly, they've had years to get this straight.
Now, if the House does approve the repeal tomorrow, the bill would be sent to the state Senate. And here's another spoiler. The legislature meets just once a week now on Wednesdays, so the Senate might not complete action on a repeal until it meets again a week from tomorrow. Bottom line, repealing the 1864 abortion ban is far from a sure thing. Mark, Karibe?
All right, Bram, so, okay, if nothing happens in the legislature, then what happens to the ban? Does it go into effect, and when will that happen? And then how does this affect the ballot initiative that's supposed to be coming up in November?
Well, as of now, and this could change based on any legal action, the ban would take effect in 60 days, about mid-June, the end of June, and would stay in effect all the way through the election in November, at which time voters will decide on whether to protect reproductive rights, the rights that the ban would eliminate. So that's the timeline right now. I'd caution things could change.
Republicans are running for their political lives on this, Bram. Does it seem, and you cover this daily, does it seem a little disingenuous to you that they're trying to distance themselves from this?
Well, we all remember the ban was included in a 2022 law that put Arizona's limited abortions to 15 weeks of pregnancy. The ban was included there should Roe versus Wade be repealed, overturned. That happened. The ban took effect. For anyone to say they didn't know what the Roe clause was all about is just disingenuous. They had to know. This was what Kathy Herod has been striving for 25 years. It finally happened. They had to know what she was doing.
In other words, if you are in the state Senate or the state legislature, let's hope you know how to read a bill and not say, I didn't know this was going to happen.
Well, I'm not sure anybody's saying I didn't know this was going to happen. It's being understood basically as this threatens not just individual political careers, but could threaten the majority, the Republican majority in the House and the Senate. That is the larger issue, I think, that might be getting lost here. There are individual careers on the line in swing districts, but Republicans as a whole could lose their grip on the Capitol.
Yep. All right. Makes sense. All right, Bram, thank you.
Bram, thanks. We'll continue to cover Arizona's abortion debate on air and online at 12news.com. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, starting at 1 o'clock, as the legislature attempts to repeal Arizona's 1864 ban.